All right. Weekly update, June 21st of 2025. Um this has been it's simultaneously been the easiest week, but then also the longest week. Easiest, hardest week. Um Easy because I mean, Vanessa, she still hasn't gotten worked on. Last first few days of this week, we're trying to figure out, trying to find a mechanic to take her to. Um, and so the landlord uh, of where I work, I talk to him sometimes. And when Vanessa actually got hit, when I got in that accident back in January, he was the guy who recommended the guy that I ended up going to get the body work done on Vanessa. So that was nice. But so I was talking to him about if he knew any mechanics, diesel mechanics that could work on Vanessa. And long story short, he found a guy for me. So that guy I'm gonna take Vanessa to on Monday. And so hopefully he'll be able to get the issue figured out. I know last time I had said that it was gonna be, an engine rebuild. That was what the first mechanic had said. But so my dad was just like, no, take it to another mechanic and see if they tell you the same thing, just to make sure, right? Because that's a lot of money to spend on rebuilding an engine if you do that, um, and only for it to end up not being the problem, right? Because people get things wrong sometimes. So that's what this is going to be, which is taking it to another mechanic to look at it and check it out. And so, unlike the first mechanic, who was just a general mechanic, this guy is a diesel mechanic. He's worked on this engine before, the engine that's in Vanessa, not Vanessa's engine, but just it's the same engine. So he's worked on it, so he's familiar with that. He specializes in Fords, and he's been doing it for 30 years as well, so that experience I'm sure counts for something. um but so yeah, first few days was just trying to figure out where am I going to take Vanessa, right? Then I had to get her towed back here, because I didn't want to leave her in the parking lot at work, because I drove her to work Sunday, and she was fine for the most part, aside from the grinding sound. But the grinding sound doesn't occur when I'm accelerating or when I'm on the highway. It's just when I'm idling. And so get to work, and or I go to church, and then from church I go to work, and on my way to work, I hear like a snap sound from somewhere. I don't know where it came from. And then after that snap sound, the grinding stopped. So I don't know what the grinding sound was. I don't know what the snap was. Clearly, it sounds like something came loose somewhere. Um, and so now when I accelerate, or when I put my foot on the gas in Vanessa, she vibrates, right? And so that happened when I was going from work back home after working all day for Father's Day. So yeah, I was like, this isn't good. And then that's why I left her there, in the parking lot. And so got her towed back here. And now that's basically it. That's basically my whole week right there. Other than that, you know, I've been here at my sister's place, right? With my parents. My sister's on vacation, so this was the week I was gonna install the AC, but then the whole thing happened with the engine needing to be rebuilt, and then now I'm taking her to another mechanic, and so I haven't gone anywhere. I haven't done anything with comedy. I haven't gone to any Bible studies. Nothing, honestly. It's been relaxing in a way because all I'm doing is chilling, still reading the Bible, still trying to write a little bit. I sat down and I just wrote, in my comedy journal, just some thoughts on things. Um, but I mean, I already know that I can write and I can write and I can write and I can write and I can write, but it doesn't really mean a whole lot unless, you get on stage and you try to make the things that you wrote down, see if any of it's funny or not, right? But so like I don't have a vehicle, so I can't go to mics. Um I can't go anywhere really. I mean, I could spend money on Ubers, right? But that gets expensive fast. And especially since I got a car bill coming up with Vanessa, it's like, you know, I was able to save my last paycheck, like my whole paycheck. I saved it. I saved my whole last paycheck, honestly. So that's been good. And the paycheck before that, I saved a good chunk of it. And then this next paycheck, I'm probably gonna end up saving that whole paycheck. So it's like it's got its pros and cons, you know. So all right, I'm missing mics, which sucks, and I'm kind of stuck here at home, which ain't all that bad. I've been able to watch the NBA finals, so that's been cool. But I've also been saving a lot of money as well, and I'm putting all of that towards whatever the potential issue is with Vanessa. So when that does get fixed, I'm not going to be in the hole on anything. So all in all, it really ain't that bad. It really isn't. I kind of want to lament it a little bit because there's this part of me that's just like, dude, I just want to go and I want to do mics and I want to get back to my life because Vanessa has been in this issue and it was the engine rebuild, but now maybe the transmission. So it was the first mechanic, now it's gonna be another mechanic. Um, so it's just all this biting time. And if it ends up having to be the engine rebuild, then I'm back at like, all right, am I rebuilding the engine or am I gonna get another van? Um, and it's like it's cheaper to rebuild the engine than it would be to get a new van and uh, build out a whole other van, right? But then, you know, that has its pros and cons as well. So, um, no, this last week, it's just been a very chill, quiet, quite frankly, relaxing week. And it's kind of nice, honestly, because I was going hard there for a minute, honestly. Like Mike's every not every night, but Mike's pretty consistently, like almost every night, every week, and then working a lot. And then I was working extra to save up for the AC, you know. Uh, so I was working 5 days a week with that, and then still doing the mics, and just yeah. And then work was busy. Work picked up a little bit. Father's Day this last Sunday, that was a long day. That was a long day. I was tired at the end of that day. Um, so it's kind of nice to just have a little reprieve right now. Um, I'd rather not have it honestly because I know I could have kept going. But maybe that's just kind of like God saying something to me, just like, hey, get this issue resolved on Vanessa, right? Like now is the time to like have this issue, right? Now is the time. This one week when your sister and her husband are on vacation and you can just sit here, relax, chill. Because I mean, then that's the other thing is that even after I get Vanessa back, right, I still got to do all the work I was gonna do on her before, right? You know, install the AC. Assuming that I get Vanessa back and her like it's not something crazy expensive where she has to get completely replaced or something like that. Assuming that that's not the case, right? I'm gonna get her back. Then I'm gonna install the AC, and then I'm gonna install the solar panel, and then I gotta install all the electrical stuff that I wanted to install for the AC. Um, so then I'm gonna have to do some woodwork on the electrical box that I built, right? So then there's that. Then I still got to get her windows tinted, and then once all that's done, then I got to do some dry runs for the podcast, and then that's the big thing, right? It's like all of this is just so I can do the podcast in Vanessa with a guest. Like that's what all of this is for. It's all for that. Because then I'm the comic with a podcast in his van who's traveling through Texas, meeting other comics and networking with all of them. Like that's the key to like everything. Like that's everything. Um and then doing the mics and then getting funny on stage, right? But the podcast is how I build my audience. Like that is core to everything, right? You know, and I could have been at this point even earlier this year, right? Even earlier this year if I hadn't gotten in the accident, right? Like that accident put me back a solid 2 months, and then now this is putting me back another 2 months, right? So it's just it's just I got to be patient, you know? I just got to be patient. It's as simple as that. And so that's all I'm doing right now this last week. The easiest, hardest, shortest, longest week. Really like almost 2 weeks now, but whatever. Yeah, and it's gonna keep going because then I take Vanessa into the mechanic on Monday, and assuming I get her back on Wednesday or Thursday, right? Then like I'm still gonna be here almost a week from now, right? And then that's the thing, as I'm still gonna work on the AC after that. So yeah, it's a lot of waiting, a lot of sitting around. Can't really do a whole lot about it though. So oh well, it's all. It's just I'm blessed with the opportunity to just kind of like sit here and wait. Right, that's a blessing in and of itself as well. So count your blessings, I suppose. Count your blessings, or maybe you don't count your blessings. Maybe you don't want to know how blessed you are. Maybe I don't know. All right, that's enough for now. Thank you very much. Thank you for watching, whoever you are. God bless. Like and subscribe, and have a good day.